We the Miami Heat of football. Yeah. The bottom line is you got to buckle up the chin straps. It's embarrassing. Yeah. Don't disrespect the game like that. It's too much crying from them. He's a man. They can be a hit just like us. He's a man. You already make the big money. He's a man. Don't cry when you step on the field, man. That's who I did. When I step on the field, I send one message. This is what it feels like. Oh, my bad. Your bad don't work in my world. What time is it? Game time. What time is it? Game time. What time is it? Game time. What time is it? Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. We ready? Let's go to the house. Let's go to the house. It's a wrap. Game over.
Oh, no. Game is just getting started right here on the lunch break on the legendary KYOK and the all-new 92.3 FM. I'm AJ Jones. It's Black History Month, and it is also Winning Wednesday here on the show. And here to hang out with me today, it is none other than the man with the plan from Hard in the Paint and CrescentCitySports.com, and the voice of the Tulane University basketball is none other than my brother, David Grubb. What's going on, man?
We've been busy. Like that's been the main thing. Has been busy, and it's a good busy, so you can't complain about that. But it's definitely been a lot going on between the podcast and doing some radio fill-in work, and of course doing Tulane basketball. Got a doubleheader on Sunday coming up. So just a lot of things happening right now, and just some irons hopefully in the fire. We'll see what happens with those. But it's 2021. Though it's gotten off to a rough start overall for all of us, it's been pretty decent for Hard in the Paint.
Yeah, I see a lot of new stuff in the background right there. Liking what you're doing with the lab is what I call it. And again, brother, I like how it's coming together. And Chris Gardner from Houston Roundball Review told me to send a shout out to you. He was telling me, man, I hope David's gonna be all right after this butt whooping that the U of H Cougars are getting ready to put on that green wave. I was like, don't talk about my alma mater like that. He didn't lie. He didn't lie at all.
I don't take it personally. You know what I'm saying? I have to be impartial during the games. That's what ESPN wants from us. But the Houston men and women, obviously, they're two very impressive teams. That women's team, so deep, just a lot of talent there. And a great coach. Yeah. I mean, took them from nothing, from 1-17 his first year in conference. And then they've had 2 straight winning records there. And probably going to be, get their third this season. They've done a great job over there. And Kelvin Sampson needs to get a lot of credit too for taking that team to the heights that they are. So Houston, it's good to have basketball back in that city in that regard, because it's been too long. Yeah. And Houston was such a hotbed of basketball for so long. For of course, the Guy Lewis era for 20 years. Houston was just a place to play basketball. It was a great place, and I love it when city schools do well.
Yeah, I'm with you and agree with you on that 100%. David Grubb, Hard in the Paint, CrescentCitySports.com, Tulane basketball, joining us right now on the show. We just lost another giant. Last time you and I were together, we were talking about the life and the legacy of Hank Aaron. John Chaney passed away after that. Legendary coach at Temple, one of my all-time favorites. I was kind of hoping he could have got a hold to John Calipari when they was going off at each other.
I worked at that station. That was my station in Massachusetts. That was I wasn't there for that, but we used to get requests for that video because we were the only ones that had it. Yeah. And so every time you'll see it, it has the station's bug in it. The station made sure that they imprinted the bug so that for in perpetuity, that's on there. And it was one of his last years at Temple that I got to meet him. They played UMass 3 times that year. The last time was in the conference championship at the tournament. But I got to meet him when he came to Amherst for that game. And it's just, the basketball is the least of it. But when you think about what he did at Temple, you know what I'm saying? Like 4 Elite Eights at Temple.
And were they 8-10 back then, right? They were the Atlantic 10 back then, right?
Yeah, and and you think about the guys who came through. Mark Macon. Remember, was National Player of the Year back in the day. Of course, Eddie Jones and Aaron McKee, who I had the good fortune of talking to when he came to town as the head coach of Temple now, and I got to speak with him and share some stories and listen to him talk about how much he revered and what he learned from Coach Chaney. And then that man was Philadelphia basketball. He literally was Philadelphia basketball for so long. And then you talk about what he and John Thompson did with the Black Coaches Alliance in the 1980s in particular, and fighting against Prop 8 and making sure that Black athletes had access to college campuses. Prop 48, excuse me. But just that, being willing to stand up for those types of things, being willing to fight on behalf of kids who otherwise society may have given up on, and then the love and compassion that he showed those guys as well, and just the discipline and the genius of maybe the most difficult zone defense that anyone has seen on the college level, because you knew you never were going to have the talent that the major schools had. It was so much of an equalizer for Temple. And I put it in a different categories. I would people equate Jim Boeheim with the zone. I think Jim Boeheim taught the zone because he's lazy. He had talent. Jim Boeheim was getting elite recruits.
Right. Yep.
And so, but John Chaney was teaching out of necessity.
Yeah.
And they hurt people's feelings with that zone.
They did. I'm glad to hear you bring those things out, especially during Black History Month, because when I look at the John Cheneys, the John Thompsons, and I'm going to throw his name in there just because of the discussion, Kelvin Sampson. You've got people that literally don't get the same kind of recognition, acknowledgement on and off the court as innovators and as people that literally are iconic in those communities. And again, all we hear about, of course, is Coach K and Bobby Knight and Jim Boeheim and Dean Smith and now Roy Williams and Calipari has snuck in there, because he's John Calipari and ended up at Kentucky and what have you. But when you look at what John Chaney did, when you look at what John Thompson did and others, and then when you look at what Kelvin Sampson is doing everywhere that he's been, always been a winner. And, text messages, phone calls is what he's guilty of and was taken down for. How do we put into perspective some of the legendary Black coaches and those that are writing legends right now?
Man, look at the programs that they had to build. Remember Georgetown, John Thompson, did you know that he existed? Think about what John Thompson versus John Thompson and John Chaney made you think that two predominantly white schools were HBCUs. I know a lot of Black people who thought Georgetown was an HBCU, thought Temple was an HBCU. I know a lot of people who thought that. I was one of them. You could have told me Temple wasn't a Black school. But so that alone, having two Black men be the face of those institutions, bigger than anybody. You knew them before you were the university president, before you knew. I mean, of course, Georgetown, amongst the elite people of this country, they knew how that school is. But the average person, I mean, think about what you did, those transformations that they created, and they've gotten these jobs that nobody else would take.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? They get these, who was interested in the Houston job? Barry Tubbs was the only person to win at Oklahoma before Kelvin Sampson got there.
Right.
You know what I mean? So where are these Black coaches? And they don't get the jobs. Look at what Juwan Howard is doing at Michigan right now.
Exactly.
And the amount of quality teams. I mean, he's setting records for the amount of teams that he's beaten this season. But that's an unusual circumstance because Black head coaches typically do not get those jobs. You have to go out and be a program builder, or you have to be considered a great recruiter. And that's no different in football. It's you don't even get that shot, but basketball still has a long way to go in hiring Black coaches.
Yeah.
And
we
look at your
talked
conference
a little bit yesterday, David, and I want to kind of get into that a little bit more today. Got to get ready to take a break. David Grubb, CrescentCitySports.com, Hard in the Paint, and Tulane University basketball. Joining us on Winning Wednesday. It's Black History Month. If you want to get in on some of the discussion with us, we want you to call us 281-453-1000. That's 281-453-1000. Or you can also text me at 832-403-5005. That's 832-403-5005. We got some tickets we're going to be giving away today to the Texas State Classic. That's going to be Prairie View and Grambling coming up February 27th up in the Cotton Bowl in Dallas. We'll do all that today right here on the lunch break on the legendary KYOK.
Hi, my name is Lily. My mom and dad used to fight about money all the time. Then one day, I heard them talking about this guy, some uncle I never knew, called Uncle Sam. Well, they say this Uncle Sam guy wanted them to pay him like a gazillion dollars, and they didn't have a gazillion dollars. So they called this company they heard on the radio called the Tax Doctor. And the Tax Doctor worked with Uncle Sam's people. I think they're called the IRS.
So yesterday, I talked about the teams in Texas that hired black head coaches for the first time, college and pro. Obviously, I want to go to the Saints and the Pelicans or Hornets. And then if you got some knowledge about, of course, LSU and Tulane, we can talk about those as well.
With their hirings?
Yeah.
Here's an important COVID-19.
Okay.
Because like you said, basketball's got a long way to go too, college and pro. College and pro.
Pay close attention to this.
And with the women going all the way they're going, they got a long way to go there too. Long way to go there
Your child
too.
may not be getting the grades they need to get ahead, maybe losing self-confidence, or you're worried about them getting into a good college because of their grades. Help is available to you. Call Grade Potential Tutoring. They can help with in-home or online tutoring and help your child with any subject at every grade level, even for test prep. They're experts in the home tutoring and online tutoring field and confident they can help you and your child get better grades today. Call now for your free consultation. 800-580-7680. 800-580-7680. 800-580-7680. That's 800-580-7680.
KYOK, 1140 AM and 92.3 FM. The legend continues.
Hi, this is TJ from South Park. I listen to the lunch break with AJ Jones on 1140 AM and 92.3 FM.
All right, y'all, it's Black History Month, and you can shop for all your African fashions at my favorite store, African Imports. They've got Black History Month specials going on now. Masks as low as $4.99, scarves and hats $9.99. You can even get dashikis for men and women for $29.99 and up. Kids $14.99 and up. And ladies, those beautiful African dresses are there for $39.99 and up for your upcoming Black History Month program, or even at your virtual church or school. Stop by African Imports for the big special. Tell them you heard it with AJ on KYOK. You're going to get 10% off of all of your purchases. Call my brother Opie over at African Imports, 281-875-0056. That's 281-875-0056. They're in the Greens Point Mall right near the food court. Again, tell Opie you got it from me. All right, that's where I get all my Fight the Power T-shirts and my mask and all that. I haven't worn my Kente mask in a while. I got to pull that bad boy out this month. But African Imports, good people over there. Good people. If you want some stuff, David, I'll get it and send it to you. I'll get it and send it to.
Hook me up. Sure, bet. Cool.
David said, yeah, send my stuff, bro. Send my stuff. We were talking about coaches before the break. Yesterday, for Black History Month, Team Texas Tuesday, I talked about black coaches in the state of Texas. UT hired their first black coach when they brought in Charlie Strong, 2014.
Yeah.
U of H brought in their first black head coach with Kevin Sumlin, 2007.
Right.
And then A&M said, well, he didn't tear it up over there at U of H. We'll get him to come in and be our first black head coach over at A&M 2011. So 3 major universities and 2 black head coaches for all intents and purposes. Kevin Sumlin at 2 schools and Charlie Strong at another. Out of those 3 schools, 2 of them will probably never hire another black head coach.
No, I mean, you remember how I started with Charlie Strong. Remember the T-shirts, black is the new orange?
Yeah.
You remember that? So, I mean, it started off bad for Charlie Strong.
Yeah.
And
Red McComb literally said he's more of a position coach, not a head coach. And, I mean, that's your major booster. That's not just a booster. That's your major booster. That's your daddy long bottoms. So, and then you go over to the pro teams. The Cowboys have never had a black head coach.
Oh, no.
The Houston Texans waited to the year of our Lord 2021 to get their first black head coach. Dallas Mavericks' first black head coach was Avery Johnson.
No,
Oh.
Jim Clemens.
That's right. You know what? I forgot about Jim Clemens. I thought it was Avery.
Nope, Jim Clemens.
It was Jim Clemens. You're absolutely right. So Jim Clemens had it for the Mavericks.
For like a year. He got 1 year.
John Lucas for the Spurs.
And remember, John Lucas is the coach who got fired to bring in Greg Popovich.
Right.
And so Popovich came right. Remember, he took the job during David Robinson's injury year. Or he took over, and then he got Duncan in the lottery. So the legend of Greg Popovich could have been the legend of
John Lucas.
John Lucas if he had gotten to coach Tim Duncan.
And what's crazy is I don't put Greg Popovich and John Gruden in the same conversation.
Oh no.
But I could.
No. John Gruden didn't get no 20 years of success. John Gruden didn't rebuild the team in different ways and put different people in the leadership. John Gruden I don't think you could. No. Like Pop. No.
Okay. All right.
No.
I'll keep Pop where I've had him. He is the best basketball coach in the league still to me this day. And he's not doing a bad coaching job right now.
That team has LaMarcus Aldridge calcifying before your eyes.
Yeah.
And he's getting some of the best play of DeMar DeRozan's career out of him. And he's got a lot of young guys, but they play hard every night and they play smart basketball. And that's what you're always going to get out of the Spurs. And they have a great staff. Yeah. It's not just him. He will acknowledge the development of that staff and how much time they put into the mental part of the game. You don't see the Spurs killing themselves, even when they're out talented. The other team has more talent than which most teams they play do.
Yeah.
But they are not going to kill themselves.
Yeah. Houston Rockets, Don Chaney, 1988. Coach of the year in 1991. Got fired the following year, and they brought in who, Rudy T.
Mm-hmm.
And then, of course, got the two chips.
You get Rudy T, and then you also luck out and draft Robert Horry and Sam Cassell.
Right.
And you move on from Otis Thorpe, and the second year you get Clyde Drexler. Everything changes. Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Astros. I'm trying to think who their first black manager was.
Was it Bob Watson?
I was gonna say it wasn't Bo Porter. It was Watson.
Bob Watson, I believe. Yeah. And I think he's still been the only one, right?
No, they had Bo Porter, and he got fired when him and Jeff Lunau got into it. We now know that Bo Porter was right.
That's a long time ago.
Yeah, and then of course now they got Dusty Baker.
Right. Ron Washington with the Rangers.
Ron Washington with the Rangers. So let's go over to Louisiana. Black head coach for the Saints ever?
No. No. Never gonna happen. Not as long as Benson's on is the thing, at least.
It's funny you say that because we said the same thing about Dallas yesterday. Cowboys. Jerry Jones
ain't never gonna have a black head coach.
They're not gonna bring no brothers in there.
No. Has Jerry Jones even had a black coordinator?
Wow. I don't think so. I don't think so.
Any blacks in the front office in Dallas?
I think.
Who?
Somebody.
Drew Pearson? I don't know. I've never heard of him.
Keith Hennig, help me out with that. Any black people in the front office of the Cowboys? All right, so again, no for the Saints. Who was the first black head coach of the Pelicans?
Oh, there's so many because they came in Paul Silas,
Right.
and then you had Byron Scott and
Right.
Monty Williams and
Right.
Alvin Gentry. So
Right.
you got four out of who am I missing? Tim Floyd. You had after Tim Floyd was Jeff Bauer, and then now Stan Van Gundy. So yeah, it's been 4 black, 3 white for the Pelicans.
And Dell Demps was the GM there.
And yeah, you had Dell Demps as the GM.
Yep.
So yeah, you've had some leadership, and then right now you have Trajan Langdon as GM, and you have Swin Cash as the vice president as well.
Love that, by the way. Tell Swin I said hey when you see her, please. Tell her Dre said hey.
I made a joke with Swin on the day that she had her son, her newest baby, because the Pelicans were supposed to win that game that night, and I said they're gonna win this one. And she said, and I said they're gonna win it for Swin. And they said, why did you say that? And I said, because in my experience with Natalia, my baby girl, who I love very much, her birth coincided with a Lakers-Spurs game. And I told my wife in the delivery room, you're not having this baby if the Lakers lose. And the Lakers won, and Natalia entered the world. And so the Lakers won every game. They won every 3-0 on her birthday, and Kobe had big games every time. So I said, they ain't gonna mess up for Swin, because it was the day after Kobe's the 1-year anniversary, and the Pelicans and Swin had given birth. I said, you get some of that magic. I'm giving it to you.
Yeah, I gotta. Chris Gardner has an inside story about LaChina Robinson. I got to tell you off air my inside story about Swin Cash. I got to tell it to you, yeah, because I wonder if she will remember it, but I will never forget it. So
there's no blacks in the head front office at the Cowboys. They only have 4 executives, and they're all Joneses.
Yeah, Keith Hennig said no, not a single one. Tulane basketball. I remember Perry Clark.
Yes, and now you have Ron Hunter, excuse me.
Okay, and then LSU.
Never. LSU. Never. They just got their first black coordinator. So no, LSU's ways away.
Basketball,
they had multiple.
Right, that's what I thought.
Yeah, you had Trent Johnson, who came from Stanford, and then you had Johnny Jones.
Johnny Jones, right?
So those are the 2.
We got Johnny here now.
Yeah, so you had 2.
Yeah. I got to take a quick break, but let's talk about that a little bit, and then I want to pre-sale something I'm doing tomorrow. I'm pretty excited about my sports geekiness took over, my sports nerdiness took over, and bro, I put together a spreadsheet that can rival Hidden Figures, man. I can get John Glenn on that moon and back with no problems, brother. I put something together, David. I'll tell you about it next when we come back. It's the lunch break. Winning Wednesday here on the legendary KYOK and Black History Month. 281-453-1000. I know I got a bunch of text messages because my phone keeps buzzing. So we'll get into that next right here on the lunch break on the legendary KYOK.
Baby, I got your money.
Are you looking for a tax company that will get you the maximum credits and deductions? Or a tax company that can get you a same-day loan up to $9,500? Well, Global One Tax Services on 6002 Antoine Drive is the tax company that is dedicated to getting you your maximum refund. Call us for an appointment or for our mobile services. That's right, Global One Tax is now mobile.
So Miss Benson ain't gonna hire no brothers?
377
The Saints don't have a single. Again, they had Terry Fontenot. Now Fontenot got hired by the Falcons, so they back to 0 in the front office. They had 1, and now the Saints front office back to 0 black people.
Hi, I'm Linda J.
They did replace Aaron Glenn with another black person, so you got that.
24 Tidwell.
I'm happy for Aaron, man. I am.
TK got me in.
Yeah, I'm glad he got a coordinator job, but again, the Saints upper management.
OMG has
ain't a black person in there. It's all white men except for the lawyer.
A call at 832.
The whole executive staff is white. Football operations staff, white.
3211.
I think except for Kai. Yeah, Kai Harley, the vice president of football administration. Kai. So I don't know what they're gonna do with Kai.
KYOK 11.
Guy's more of an administrator than anything else. He's the
KYOK
cap guy,
2.3 FM.
so he ain't never gonna get the big job.
I'm Larry Scott, host of the
All right, last one there.
Me Show. Join me Saturdays for great fun, interviews, music, and the latest news surrounding our world today. We are the show that cares to hear your voice and opinion with real conversation in a no judgment zone. So join me Saturdays from 1 to 2 p.m. on the Not So Christian and Me Show, right here on the legendary KYOK Radio, 1140 AM, and the all-new 92.3 FM at KYOKradio.org.
Hi, this is Sonia from Southeast Houston, and you're listening to The Lunch Break on 92.3 and KYOK.
I'm playing this one for all of my friends and colleagues over there on the East Coast. I know they snowed in, man. I feel bad. Somebody showed me a picture of their car snowed in. They say, where do I even begin? I said, blowtorch? I mean,
I've lived through it. It's all you can do is dig in and start digging it out. And then turn that car on and leave it for about an hour and come back later. That's all you can do.
Bruh, when I lived in East Orange, New Jersey, we had to park on the street. We didn't have covered parking and all that.
Yeah, they don't allow that.
And they would go through and clear the streets, and all that snow would go to the side of the street. And where my car was and where I looked for it was in two different places because that bad boy was gone. That bad boy was fortunately I had one of those boop, boop, boop. So I could kind of, is that it? Is that it? And other people be out there doing theirs, man. So it's like, can you wait? Let me do mine first and then we'll find yours.
Like slow down. And you're sticking your arm through the snow and you're like trying to feel where the keyhole is. And then, you got to go get some warm water to make sure you don't crack off the key and all. Right. People are like, look, that's work. That's work in and of itself. You before you go to work.
Yep.
And my dad was telling me, this was, he was reminiscing about the northern, I think the white hurricane that came through Michigan in 1978. And so that was the thing that made him move. That's when he decided he didn't want to live in Michigan anymore. Was the white hurricane of 78. And he showed the pictures of it. And then he's like, you remember? And I do remember us sleeping in the living room with the fireplace on, going and the oven on and trying to stay warm because you couldn't go anywhere for 4 days. You were stuck in the house for 4 days.
Brother, I'm with your dad. Let me tell you why. I was in Jersey for 94, 95 when they had a blizzard that went through there. And it shut New York, New Jersey down for 2 days. Now, when you shut...
I remember that one. I remember.
For 2 days. That's a lot of snow.
They had people skiing in the streets. I remember that.
Bro, I lived in a little condo complex that had a little walkway between buildings. We could not get out of our front door. And they went through and they were like, if you need medical attention, hang a sheet out your window. If not, we're going to dig the older people out first and then we'll get to everybody else. And I'm thinking, I can't leave my house if I want to. I cannot leave I said, son, we getting out of here. And I mean it, bro. We got out. We went down to Tampa, Florida after that. It was a wrap after that.
Yeah, the 1 year I spent in Massachusetts was the winter with the worst snowstorm they'd had in 30 years. I slept on my desk a couple of nights.
Bro.
I wasn't about that life anymore. Mountains. I like snow, but the mountains were too much. It was just too much in the mountains.
My kids right now, Daddy, I want to go see snow. Take us back to your hometown. I turn on the Weather Channel. Here, there you go, some snow. There it is. Or better yet, here's a ticket. Y'all can go see your auntie and cousins and uncles and all that. I ain't going. I'm good.
Yeah,
I'm good.
I'm good
It's
for right now.
also National Women in Sports Day. Talk about that for a hot minute.
Yeah, I think, I have always tried, and I don't want to take any credit. I'm just going to say this because I think it's important, is I've always tried to amplify female voices in sports and from all areas.
Yeah.
Not just our industry from being the journalist side, but the athletes, the administrators, the support staff, all those people, all those women who work hard. And a lot of times don't get the same resources or don't get the same consideration or have to deal with, things that they shouldn't have to deal with in the workplace, trying to establish themselves. So to celebrate them is one thing, we should celebrate them because they need the encouragement, because it is hard out there. We see it. We see it every day. We see our female colleagues. And we see female athletes, the unjust kind of comments that they get in social media, the way that they get disregarded in the national media, and that their achievements are often just overlooked. So it's one thing to celebrate, but the other thing is to advocate.
Right.
And I think you have to make sure that in whatever position you're in, whether you are just a fan, if you are an alumnus, and alumni, and you talk to your school and say, why don't we hire more? Why aren't we giving more women's scholarships? Donate your own money. Go to a game. I just tell people all the time, just go to a game.
Yeah.
Go to a game and show up, because that means everything to them. That those $10 that you spent, or $5, depending on where you go for schools and stuff. Sometimes the games are that cheap. Just go. We have left out, and if you just look at the business side of it, and I always do this first on the business side. You have all these talented women that we just leave out of the conversation. We leave out of the business place. We leave out of the marketplace. We leave them out of our newsrooms. We leave them out of our TV stations, and we say you can't do this, or you're a sideline reporter, or you're only good for this. And quite frankly, we see women killing it.
Yep.
All over the place.
Yep.
And we should be talking about them, and we should be promoting them. And that's why with my podcast, I've always tried to have a very a diverse set of guests. In particular, I seek out women to not talk about women's sports.
Absolutely. Right. Yeah. In fact, when you said that, I thought about one day I want to see Shannon Sharp and a sister sitting across from each other. Not in the middle.
There's not a single debate show with women on it. A sports talk show that's hosted by women on any of the major networks. They are all the sidekicks.
Right.
Like I love Joy Taylor.
Right.
It's not her show. That's Colin Cowherd's show.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I love, why am I forgetting it? Molly Purim on First Take.
Right.
That's not her show.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's not her show. So where there's not a show that is driven, there's not a national sports show other than Rachel Nichols on The Jump, that you see women in charge of the show talking about men's sports.
Yeah. You know who was on her way before all that got derailed at the mothership was Jemele Hill.
Jamel's doing better now than she was then.
Much better. And I love that show with her and Carrie, bro. We can't say the name of it. We can't say what they talk about over here. But when Jemele takes her shot and says what she got to say, I go in, brother. I love every bit of that. I love it.
I love her podcast too. I listen to her podcast often too. But Jemele is an inspiration to me. I mean, I got to meet her at NABJ, and my introduction was simply I tried to clown her because I'm a Michigan fan and she's a Michigan State alumnus, and so I messed with her on that. And from there, it was just I told her, you just tell people at the time, you say you inspire me because you're honest. And that's the main thing, is like she's authentic, she's honest, and she writes her behind off when she does write. She's a journalist. She's raised up as a journalist.
Yeah.
So she has the ability to dissect and destroy arguments and make great ones as well. And I think you get to the point where you get to be unapologetically Jemele Hill or unapologetically who you are in your forum. There is no price for that. There's no paycheck that can make that okay when you feel like I can say whatever I choose and take the responsibility for it, and maybe change the world by doing it.
Yeah, and she's really doing that. And I love that people will literally get in there and defend her when the you-know-who's try to get in there and come for her.
But I'll do it for all. Like, if I'm on Twitter and I see somebody say something messed up about a female reporter or an athlete and say something to them, to get it back in the kitchen, or far worse.
Yeah.
Then it's my job to jump in there too and say, no, this isn't right.
Right.
Because if we just leave it to women to defend themselves in this, no, it's our fault too.
You're right.
We play along in this too. I know I used to do it. I remember, when Jane Kennedy was on NFL Today, I really wasn't listening to what Jane Kennedy said. I was a kid, but I knew Jane Kennedy was fine. But I really wasn't listening to what she was saying. And and then when you go back and you see what Leslie Visser had to go through, what the women who first got on the desks on those Sunday morning NFL programs had to deal with, or being marginalized by either your looks. Pam Oliver, who is one of the greatest sideline reporters who has ever lived, who has more information when she steps on the field than most people. But 9 times out of 10, they talk about Pam Oliver, the way she sounds or the way she looks. You never do that for male reporters. You don't talk about no one cares about their hair. Nobody cares about their face. Nobody cares about their bodies. You don't care. So why are you doing that to women? Why are we judging their appearance? Why are we judging their hair? Why are we judging their bodies when they're on the air if they know what they're talking about?
Yeah. I had to get on some people recently about Pam Oliver. Talk about, did she have a stroke on the air? What have you?
It's cold.
Bruh.
Your lips freeze.
And a couple of them, because I'll grab that profile real quick. So wait a minute, you're a young black journalist, NABJ, and you're talking about Pam Oliver out in the cold. You wish you could be out in the cold doing what's
stand out there. You've done it. You covered a game in the snow, haven't you?
Yep. Oh, yeah.
Or some degree.
Yeah.
And you're out there and your lips freeze. And if you have to if somebody comes to you on camera, because most of the time you're out there, you get to record. You don't do live out there when it's that cold most of the time. But if you're covering a game and you're going live, your lips and your tongue, it is hard for them to move. Your blood is slowing down. Your fingers are hurting. There's no amount of, it is painful to stand on a field during a game in those kind of conditions. It's painful.
Yeah. Social media sometimes can be that thing that we absolutely love, and it can also be that thing that I absolutely hate. So, but yeah, I wanted to get that in, man, because we've got some who's who out there in our atmosphere. When I think of the Kelsey Nicole Nelsons and the Valencia Kings and the Erica Fernandezes, Vashti Hurd. Yeah. Have you met Christina Williams yet? She's one of the top 30 for 30, young 30s, under 30.
We haven't met yet. I exchanged email addresses with her, and I'm trying to schedule a time to get her on the pod. But
likewise.
So I just haven't met yet, but I know of her. Like I follow everybody back that I can. I really try to, and we do this too. We retweet and support. And so you can't read everybody's article, but at the very least, I can post you and send you to my audience and let them try to read it. Yeah, I'm working too. You know what I'm saying? I'm working too. I can't read everything,
right?
But I can at least do that. That's the least I can do is push the retweet button on your article, and maybe somebody else who wants to read it and can be affected by it will find it.
Yeah. Got a shout out to our girl sister Washington up there as well. She does a lot of good work. And I'm like you, man. When they're doing something, when they got something coming up, if I can't get into it deep, I'll just retweet it because, like you said, that's the least we can do is pass it on so other folks will know about what's going on out there with our, with our sisters and women in sports, man. I absolutely love. I follow JaVale McGee's sister, Amani, and man, she is hilarious. She's real, she's deep, but she's also hilarious. So I love following her as well. I'm loving what I'm seeing in WNBA free agency right now, man. Mm-hmm. I'm loving that. Candace Parker going home. That's going to be big when the season starts.
That was my crush for the longest time.
Yeah.
That was Candace Parker. Not just because she's beautiful, but because she can play.
That
was just like, oh.
Yeah. That was the same thing with me and Lisa Leslie, man. It wasn't just she was just tall and beautiful. She could ball. I mean, Lisa was the first woman that I saw dunk. Lisa was the first woman that I saw dunk.
Yeah, I think Lisa was the first I saw. I mean, all the my history of women's basketball just goes back on, and I just love it. I love women's basketball. I don't like to do that whole thing where people talk about fundamentals. I like styles. I think the women's basketball game is more diverse in style than the men's game. And I think that if you look at the WNBA, they have shown that those women have no intention of going out of the spotlight. You're not going to push them backwards. If they have to drag that league forward without the help of the WNBA, without people loving them, they are not going backwards. And I applaud because they are fighting for everything that they're trying to get. They're fighting for it. They are unapologetic. They will be political. and then they will go out and play some great basketball. And look, I'm sorry, if you don't know how great Warren Jackson is, if you don't know how great, some of the, Sue Bird, if you haven't seen, Candace Parker, if you haven't seen Asia Wilson, if you've seen Liz, if you haven't seen Atlanta Deladonna, you're missing out, because Atlanta Deladonna is my favorite player. I love Candace Parker, but Atlanta Deladonna is my favorite player because she can do anything. She can do anything.
Yeah. I'm a little biased. I'm a Cambridge girl. I'm a guy.
I love Liz Cambridge too. I love Liz Cambridge.
Bro, I do. I just love her style of play. And then I love the people who made me their friends. And I say it like that because they didn't have to. But Cheryl Swoops, man, I mean it. I honor her. I respect her. And I value, the time that she gives me personally as well as on the show here. And then to have Coach Coop on the show not too long ago, man. I'm honored, bro. It's like it's almost as not fair that we get to interact with the people that we get to interact with in our daily lives because of what we do.
Yeah, I got to meet Pat Summitt. I got to, in my career, and that was huge for me. And I got to be at her Hall of Fame ceremony. To watch her get inducted to the Basketball Hall of Fame, I was there for that. It's amazing. When you get to be around these figures and you respect what they do, when you get to see the players that have come. One of the best conversations I ever had on the radio show was with Nancy Lieberman. Nancy Lieberman is a basketball genius. And remember, she tried out for the NBA and played with men and coached and has championships coaching men. But having basketball conversation only. Like, that was the best part of it. We absolutely talked about the issues that women face in the NBA and just in general in sport. But to talk basketball with her, that's the thing, is people act like, this is not gender specific. It's basketball, it's football, it's baseball. You can watch it and get it. If you can participate and get it. They got guys who coach in the NBA who never played a lick of basketball.
Right.
So, I mean, like, to say because of your gender, you can't know your sport, you can't love your sport. You go any game you go to a Texas game, go to a Houston game, go to a Rockets game. There are women there who know more than guys who sit there who got all the jerseys on, all the stuff on, who don't know nothing. And there are women there who can dissect the defense and know the terminology better than any guy sitting there.
I coached a corporate basketball team. I coached a celebrity basketball team for a radio station. But when I worked for a company, I coached a corporate basketball team. And we had a young lady. She might have been 5'5". She played at the University of Georgia. And she had a leg brace that was from the top of her thigh down to the bottom of her ankle. And I would look at her, she would look at me, and we get that nod, and I'd put her in. And every time the guy that was on her would lay off, because here's this little woman, I ain't worried about her. And she would light their tails up. She would fill it up. And then you know what they do? They try to come out on her, and she would leave them standing right there. With that brace on, she was still quicker. She still had more handles. She still had more fundamentals than any of the guys that we played against in that corporate league. And, man, she was my ringer. I loved when she told me she played at University of Georgia, I said, okay, we good. I got you now. I know what to do with you now. And sure enough, man, she made a lot of them embarrassed. She made a lot of them feel bad about themselves.
All those guys who talk that stuff, who say, if I was in WNBA, I scored 30 points a game. I practiced with college, Division I college basketball players who were women. It is not, you are not in condition. You think you are. Like, you think you're in condition to run up and down the court with them. You think that they are not that skilled. Look, I got one of my most proud achievements when I was at Wake Forest is winning the co-rec basketball championship. And the women, not having them, they get more points. Like, people forget, if they shoot from behind 3, they get 4. If they shoot right in the mid range, it's 3. If they get in the paint, it's 2. So we got 1 for layups. So setting them up and having great women on the team who carried us to that championship. All I had to do was play defense, rebound and D. Hey, Grubb was happy.
I hear you. Hey, man, let me do this real quick. It's Black History Month, and you can shop for your African fashions at my favorite store, African Imports. They got Black History Month specials going on from mass $4.99 all the way up to African dresses for $39.99 and up. Men, if you need a dashiki, you can get those for $29.99 for your upcoming Black History Month program at your school or your virtual church event. Stop by African Imports in the Greenspoint Mall and mention KYOK, your boy AJ. You're going to get 10% off your purchase at African Imports in the Greenspoint Mall, not far from the food court. Call Opie today, 281-875-0056. That's 281-875-0056. African Imports bringing us this segment of the lunch break.
And I got to give a shout out to the greatest female basketball player of all time.
You better put my niece up there.
The greatest female basketball player you've ever seen in your life.
Oh, man, I'm telling you. Natalia, Uncle AJ said, hey.
She's the only one who is a non-professional athlete or a non-Wake Forest related athlete who goes on my wall of fame. She's the only one.
Ain't mad at you at all. Ain't mad at you at all. I'd look at you strange if you had done anything or said anything different.
No, that's my baby. So
that's right. That is so right. Look, I'm a dance team dad. You're a basketball team dad. I love it.
And she's on cheerleader. She's a cheerleader now too. So yeah,
I tell her just be great. Tell her just be great. Whatever she want to do, just be great.
You can't stop her.
Listen, and if y'all have some problems down there, don't y'all do nothing. Call me. I'll sit it out. Y'all keep me some money and some ho-hos and Twinkies on my books, okay?
All right.
Listen, man. Obviously, there's basketball out there being played. Rockets have gotten hot. They're shooting for their 7th in a row when they visit Oklahoma City tonight at 7. They just beat the Thunder 136-106. One of the wins in that 6-game streak was against New Orleans. Mm-hmm. They finally got some guys healthy, so they got John Wall, they got Oladipo and Christian Wood together, and Boogie put up some big games in that stretch as well. Before you talk about New Orleans, tell me what you're seeing out of this Houston Rocket team.
It's amazing what happens when guys want to play together. It's amazing what happens when you get everybody on the same page.
Yeah.
Because everybody was willing to say, oh, Steven Silas was the wrong person for this. And everybody's willing to say, Boogie was done, and that John Wall wasn't going to bounce back, and that this is the same team that James Harden said didn't have enough talent to get him over the hump.
That part.
And they got 6-0. The Nets 5-1 in the last few games. So you still got a better record than the Nets. And the Nets got some really bad losses. And you look at the way the Rockets are winning, they're beating people, by averaging 15 a game right now? Yeah.
So over the last 9 games, the Rockets have the number 1 defense in the entire NBA. Over the last 9 games, the Brooklyn Nets, are the 30th defense in the NBA. I'm not trying to compare the two, but I'm trying to compare the two. The defense wins, man. And, by the way, when you got guys that don't need to ISO, they keep the ball moving, they take smart shots, they follow their shots, they rebound, and they play defense, yeah, you're right. You see those games get away from other teams.
And you've got a bunch of players, too, who have something to prove.
Right.
Every one of these dudes has something to prove. Because not only to themselves do they want to prove something, like we are not creations of James Harden.
Right.
That our ability to, like, if you're Eric Gordon, you're thinking, well, people, I'm gonna have to get different looks now because James Harden is here. What does he do? It's what? How many threes did he hit in the first quarter of the night? Last night was 6, something like that in the first quarter.
Yeah.
So you look at that and you say, the Rockets are getting something from everybody. PJ Tucker's still doing PJ Tucker type things. Christian Wood giving you 20 plus every night and giving you that length and versatility to be able to step out and shoot and be a terror around the rim.
Double machine.
And then to see Boogie and Boogie can't defend like he used to. That's fine. But he's still one of the smarter basketball players you're going to come across. He understands how to pass. He understands how to move the basketball. And I think Boogie has matured some too, because the texts that he's gotten, when I've seen him get texts, he ain't deserve those. Those are reputation texts. Those are reputation checks that Boogie got. I think he's playing.
I say that, David, because I even had to call out a couple of local media folks. Stop that. Even Steven said, listen, they're going after Boogie because of old Boogie. They're not going after Boogie because of what he did in that game or on that play or what have you. And that's what Steven says he's been telling Boogie. Don't go back to the old you. Just stay who you are. It's going to turn around. And we saw it. We saw it over that stretch.
Right. And look, he can't do the things that he used to do. He's still got to get better physically around the post. But he's shooting 40% from three. What you going to have to be giving you 10 boards a night? So for that to be for a guy who basically hasn't played in almost 2.5 years.
Right.
For him to come back.
That's gravy.
And then you find guys like David Nwaba who were undervalued in other places. Jashawn Tate, that dude gives it.
Seriously, they're starting to call him PJ Tucker's son because he is a younger, more athletic and just different version of PJ Tucker. Love that. And the Nwaba, man, I'm telling, like you said, the dirty work and the consistent work and the motor that never stops, always around the basket. I'm telling these young guys, Mason Jones. They're deep, they're motivated, they seem to be all on the same page. The one guy that I think is showing me that there's a different atmosphere, though, is Eric Gordon. Eric Gordon, I know he's healthy, but it's almost like he's playing with a different kind of lightness than what he played under before with the different regime that he was under before.
Because I think he doesn't have to be one thing anymore.
Right.
You get everybody had the same role before. And then you watch a dude like Victor Oladipo buy in. He could have come down here and been like, I got shipped out of Indiana, which he wanted to move.
Right.
But he could have thought I could come down to these Rockets and this team is going to fall apart and I don't want to be here. But no. Victor ain't shooting the best, but I'm watching him defend. I'm watching him give effort. And that's a big part of this. In the league, effort is now a skill. It is a rare commodity to find guys who are willing to give consistent effort. And that's what you're getting. Steven Silas has gotten those guys to play through the bad parts because they are willing to give consistent effort. And you found enough role players. And I think if you transition into the Pelicans, the problem with the Pelicans is they don't have any role players. They don't have guys who understand the game of basketball. There are enough guys on the Rockets who understand what their limitations are, understand what they do well. And like I said, wanting to play with each other is such a undervalued thing too. These guys play for each other.
Yep. Especially when you got 10, 12 guys with that same mentality. Let's slide over to New Orleans. You just touched on it. So after that starting five that you have, where do you guys go? Is that the issue? Is it defense, or is it some of those players in the starting five? What's happening with you guys?
It's everything. It's everything in New Orleans. Going into the season, you and I talked about this. I didn't like the roster, the way it was made up. I didn't like the fact that they didn't move J.J. Redick in the offseason, knowing that he was coming into the last year of his deal and that you had players who did the same thing as J.J. You can say, well, we needed shooting. Yeah, sure. You always need shooting. But the first and most important thing you were doing is what are you trying to build for this team? J.J. wasn't going to be around past this year no matter what. So what value did he have to you if you say you're still building towards something? So that was a problem for me. When you brought in Eric Bledsoe, you're taking in a guy who just played on the team that won the most games in the NBA the last 2 years, was all first team, all defense, and you send him to a team that hasn't made the playoffs in 3 seasons. Why would he want to do that? What's his motivation for coming here? He doesn't want to be here. Steven Adams, I think, is the smartest guy on his team, but he can't play more than 30 minutes a night, and they do have to play him more than 30 minutes a night because the bench is so bad.
Yeah,
and he takes a beating. Zion Williamson is supremely talented offensively, but is lost defensively. Brandon Ingram is regressing from what you saw at the beginning of the year, and Brandon Ingram might be the worst fourth quarter player in the NBA.
Wow.
He he went more than 10 games before he hit his first fourth quarter three. Like, he was shooting below 20% in the fourth quarter in most games. The Pelicans' problems, they are the best first quarter team in the NBA by a wide margin. They are the best first quarter team in the NBA. And then they are the absolute worst second quarter team in the NBA. Then they lose the third quarter, and then by the time it's the fourth quarter, they've given up. They are a weak mental team. They are a weak physical team. And they are not comprised of enough players who can compensate for what the other players don't do well. And if you're building a team, that's what you do, right? You fill the holes. Right. If I know my guy is great at this, but he's not great at this, if I have a pass rusher in the NFL, but he's not great at shedding blockers, then I get me a big defensive tackle who's going to take on those blockers for me so my edge rusher can get around those guys. So if in the NBA, if you have guys who are not great on defense, then you better get some length and some team defenders, guys who are willing to die on defense. That's what makes these teams work. The Lakers are not a team that you look at from top to bottom. You say, this is the most talented team I've ever seen. Are they more talented than the Warriors teams that you saw? No. Are they more talented than the Heat teams that you saw? No. But what do they do every night? They play defense and they play together. And they play intelligent basketball. Pelicans don't play together. They don't play defense. And they don't play intelligent basketball. And I think half the team is worried that they're going to get traded. So how do you have a good circumstance to go to work in every day if you're wondering if you're going to get traded or not?
David, let me take a quick break. We got to get Sybil Wilkes on with her COVID-19 update, and then we'll come back with more. I've been wanting to talk to you about that. What I said yesterday is I hope Coach Van Gundy has matured from when he was in Orlando, because it was stuff like this that when it started going bad, he started blaming players started blaming him, and it got real ugly. You know, things got a little bit better in Detroit, but is patience the word that we're looking for with the Pelicans, roster-wise and player-wise? We'll come back with that when we come back right after this. Here's Sybil Wilkes with her COVID-19 update right here on the lunch break on the legendary KYOK.
Today, Senate Republicans remain in their powerful chairman positions held before January elections change things. The most recent example of Republican foot dragging is the confirmation hearing of Judge Merrick Garland for Attorney General. This points to an even bigger problem. It's time to get past this protracted era of mean, hateful politics and get to work on organizing this 50-50 Senate. Put the good of this country first. Voting rights activist and Democratic leader Stacey Abrams has been nominated for the 2020 Nobel Peace Prize for her work to preserve voting rights in the United States. The Spelman College grad and attorney, whose work is credited for boosting voter turnout, helped candidate Joe Biden win the state of Georgia in the 2020 presidential election. Other nominees for the prestigious award include the Black Lives Matter movement and U.S. Congresswoman Barbara Lee of California. Please visit SybilWilkes.com to subscribe to my free daily newsletter. Be informed, be...
Now, back to the lunch break.
All right, y'all, back on the lunch break on the legendary KYOK and the all-new 92.3 FM. We got just a couple of seconds before the top of the hour, but let me remind you, we're going to be giving away a pair of tickets to the State Fair of Texas Classic. That's Prairie View against Grambling. And we'll do that in just a little bit right here on the lunch break.
The legendary 1140 AM KYOK Conroe and 92.3 FM K222CX Houston.
The views and opinions expressed on all radio shows broadcast on KYOK are entirely those of the host, guests, and callers, who are entirely responsible for all show content and do not in any way reflect the opinions of KYOK Radio, its sponsors, staff, or management.
All right, y'all, back here on the lunch break on the legendary KYOK and the all-new 92.3 FM. I'm AJ Jones, along with my brother, like no other. It's David Grubb, host of Hard to Paint, writer for CrescentCitySports.com. He's also the voice of Tulane basketball men and women, courtesy of the mothership, ESPN. And glad to have you back, David. We have missed you, and glad for you to come hang out with us during Black History Month. We were talking a little bit about the Pelicans. Does the organization need to be patient while they're trying to figure out the actual roster and what the individual players themselves need to do, or what should they do?
There's a difference between being patient and being inactive. And I think there are actions that need to be taken right now. They need to, like I said, find more adults in the room. You can't have this team where you've got a bunch of children around. And I'm not trying to be pejorative to these grown men, but it just, that's the analogy I'd use it. It's kind of like you're trying to raise 5-6 kids.
Wow.
And they're all like at the same age. Let's say you got sextuplets. You can't corral all of those. You know what I'm saying? Like you're trying to corral these kids and teach them all. Somebody's going to get left out. And you see teams, where are these teams that all their draft picks stayed together? Where is this timetable when people say, the Pelicans fans here keep saying things, there's this huge divide. Pelicans Twitter is so violently angry right now that other teams are commenting on it during broadcasts. Like other broadcast teams are talking about it because there are people who think that, well, look, they're in the middle of a rebuild. Well, where are these teams that's worked when it takes a long time? Minnesota been rebuilding for how long?
Yeah, they have.
You know what I'm saying? Atlanta been rebuilding for what, 4 years now?
The Clippers rebuilt for like a decade. Like they had the number 1 pick.
But then it changed. Like when it changes fast because they got Blake Griffin.
Yeah.
And remember, Blake sits out his rookie year. They weren't really that great.
Right.
And then the next year they get Chris Paul.
Right.
And everything changed. It wasn't like the rebuild. You can call all that wasted years rebuild. That wasn't really rebuild. That wasn't Donald Sterling's goal.
Right.
His goal was to make money, and he was making money. He was the most profitable owner in the NBA because he didn't want to pay for nothing. So, but look at the teams that finally Boston didn't wait. You know what I'm saying? Boston didn't wait when they traded off Kevin Garnett and all that, and Paul Pierce and all them. How long did it take? 2 years, and they got better. 2 years. So you look at all these teams. Didn't take Denver forever to get back after Carmelo and all those guys were gone. Didn't take forever for them to get back. Utah has done this over and over again. You know what I'm saying? We've seen Dallas do it multiple times. So why is it that people think the Pelicans have to wait 5 years? You have the number 1 pick in the draft from a year ago in Zion Williamson. And you have a number 3 overall pick in Brandon Ingram, who also made the All-Star team and was most improved player last year. That team should be a playoff team.
Yeah.
It's that simple. That should be a playoff team. But those 2 players, your best 2 players, are not tenacious. They're not tenacious. Okay. That's the thing. Is that if you're being led by guys, have you ever seen Zion Williamson put somebody on the ground on a foul? Like see somebody drive the paint and him just say, nope, not today. When was the last time you saw a Zion dunk? Like you see him get up. When's the last time you saw him put somebody into the third row on a dunk? Where's that? When they're losing, you see them. You see how they walk to the bench. You see that kind of, I'm resigned to this. You don't see guys. Somebody has to be the one who grabs, who's by the shoulder. And we said in New Orleans, you have not had that kind of leader since Chris Paul left. And it wasn't Anthony Davis. That ain't who he is. That's not who Drew Holiday was. That's not who Brandon Ingram is. Yeah. Brandon Ingram, people were all hyped up about the article that was done on him. But he says, if you hear your best player say, I think I have greatness inside me, and I need you to help bring it out, I'm not really as confident in that guy because I doubt Michael Jordan ever walked up to anybody and said, I think I have greatness inside me. I don't think Kobe Bryant walked up to any of his coaches and said, I think I have greatness inside me. The greats know they have greatness inside them. What they find in a coach is somebody to refine it, point it in the right direction. That's what a mentor does. But greatness, people who are truly great, you know it. Yeah. They know it. You ain't got to tell Magic Johnson when he walked in the league. You didn't have to tell Allen Iverson. You didn't have to tell Isaiah Thomas. You didn't have to tell Shaq. Those guys came in and believed. You didn't have to tell LeBron. Yeah. They knew they were the best.
Yeah. It's funny you say that because Christian Wood said, I'm a great player. I now have an opportunity to show it here in Houston. And, dude has been doing nothing but that, on and off the field. On and off the court. Al High brought up a good point, too. What's up, Al? Al said, and they got the number 2 pick, Lonzo, there in New Orleans. So,
and you got 3 other first-round picks.
Yeah.
So you got 3 other lottery picks that you have along with those guys. And Steven Adams, that's a guy who is a legit NBA player. So you have enough parts that you would say they should be better than this. and you're 14th in the Western Conference, and you give up buckets and buckets of points to anybody you play. De'Aaron Fox outscored the Pelicans by himself in the fourth quarter last game, and it was embarrassing. They weren't even touching him. He didn't even have to go to the free throw line. He only shot 2 free throws in the fourth quarter. So what does that say? If a guy's putting in those kind of points and he's not going to the line, that means you aren't even getting near him.
Yeah, 3-7 over the last 10, 2 in a row on the losing streak. And that defense is giving up 113 a game. Offense only scoring 111. I'm not a math guy. Actually, I am. But you can't win like that. So how do they turn it around? How do they turn it around? Is it roster moves? Is it, like you said, guys realizing that they got to find it within themselves? Is it Van Gundy? What's got to happen?
It starts with David Griffin. He has to get more NBA players on this roster, and he has to get out of Stan Van Gundy's stop telling him who to play. Like Jackson Hayes, the only reason Jackson Hayes is playing is because David Griffin's in love with Jackson Hayes and thinks he's going to be the next big thing. Jackson Hayes is completely lost on the floor. You saw Willie Hernandez Gomez come in the other night and get a double-double. Jackson Hayes had 4 fouls in 11 minutes.
He brought Jackson Hayes in from Cleveland, didn't he?
No, Jackson came from University of Texas, remember?
Oh, that's right. Okay. All right. You're right.
But Jackson Hayes, I think you are referring to.
Say it again, David. You broke up on me. Uh-oh. We had a little freeze up on David. David, you still there? All right, we'll try and get him back in just a second right here on the lunch break on the legendary KYOK. If you want to get in, 281-453-1000. That's 281-453-1000. It's the lunch break on the legendary KYOK and the all-new 92.3 FM. I'm AJ Jones, and let's see if we can't get David back over here with us. All right, 281-453-1000, 281-453-1000. Let me remind you, it is Black History Month. It is Black History Month, and you can shop for your African fashions at African Imports. They are definitely my favorite store. They're right there in the Greens Point Mall near the food court, and they got specials going on all month long. You can mask for as low as $4.99, scarves and hats for $9.99, kids dashikis for $14.99 and up, and adult dashikis, $29. And then for ladies, them beautiful dresses. And I love to see a woman in a beautiful dress from African Imports, $39.99 and up. Tell them you heard it on KYOK. You'll get 10% off your purchase, and you can call them, 281-875-0056. That's 281-875-0056 for African Imports. Tell Opie you heard it right here on the lunch break. And again, I got these tickets to give away for the Grambling State and Prairie View State Fair Classic. It's going to be played on February the 27th, 3 o'clock in the Cotton Bowl up in Dallas. Keith Hennig is going. Longhorn Keith is going. Question is, will you be going? So keep listening for your chance to win those. We'll be doing that right here on the lunch break. Quick sports update. Rockets shooting for their 7th win in a row when they take on Oklahoma City tonight at 7. Spurs try to bounce back from a 31-point loss when they host Minnesota tonight at 7:30. The Mavs trying to end a 6-game losing streak when they take on Atlanta tonight in Atlanta at 6:30. And then 11 missed free throws did the number 6 UT Longhorns in a game that they played well against number 2 Baylor, but got to hit your freebies. They lost 83-69 to Baylor. And then, of course, Super Bowl 55 this coming Sunday, 5:30 Central, live on CBS, Kansas City and Tampa Bay. Take a quick break. We'll come back on the lunch break. Again, 281-453-1000 if you want to get in.
Hi, my name is Lily. My mom and dad used to fight about money all the time. Then one day, I heard them talking about this guy, some uncle I never knew, called Uncle Sam. Well, they say this Uncle Sam guy wanted them to pay him like $1 gazillion, and they didn't have $1 gazillion. So they called this company they heard on the radio called the Tax Doctor. And the Tax Doctor worked with Uncle Sam's people. I think they're called the IRS. And they are able to work it out so my mom and dad didn't have to pay Uncle Sam very much money at all. So now mom and dad are happy, and I'm happy too. Thanks, Tax Doctor.
If you owe $10,000 or more to the IRS or state, call now and pay less. 800-603-9359. 800-603-9359. That's 800-603-9359. Here's an important COVID-19 school system update for your local area. If you're concerned about your child's education, please pay close attention to this message. The current school systems were not set up for at-home learning. If you're worried that your child may not be getting the grades they need to get ahead, may be losing self-confidence, or you're worried about them getting into a good college because of their grades, help is available to you. Call Grade Potential Tutoring. They can help with in-home or online tutoring and help your child with any subject and every grade level, even for test prep. They're experts in the home tutoring and online tutoring field and confident they can help you and your child get better grades today. Call now for your free consultation. 800-580-7680. 800-580-7680. 800-580-7680. That's 800-580-7680. I am a non-attorney spokesperson representing a team of lawyers who've helped people that have been injured or wronged. Have you been diagnosed with cancer? Are you one of the millions who have taken Zantac or other generic versions of this popular drug to help treat stomach issues? Then pay close attention to this message. The FDA said it detected low levels of a probable cancer-causing chemical known as NDMA in Zantac and other generic forms of this popular drug. They've banned sales and even removed it from the market. If you've been diagnosed with cancer and you've taken Zantac or a generic equivalent, call the legal helpline now. You could receive a free cash award and have your medical expenses covered. And there's no upfront cost to you. They only get paid if you win. So please call now. 800-251-7816. 800-251-7816. 800-251-7816. That's 800-251-7816.
The legendary KYOK 1140 AM and 92.3 FM. The legend continues.
You're listening to Shiloh Radio, the legendary KYOK 1140 AM and the all-new 92.3 FM, where you will be encouraged, inspired, and ignited to reach your maximum potential in life through Jesus Christ with Shy.
Hey, what's going on? This is Lecrae, and right now you're listening to The Lunch Break.
All right, y'all. Back here on the lunch break on the legendary KYOK and the all-new 92.3 FM. I'm AJ Jones. It is our Winning Wednesday. It's also Black History Month. And I want to share a Black History acknowledgement that one of my trusted listeners, Fact Caller of the Year 2020, Keith Hennick, shared, and I like it. Black History Spotlight for today is on Coach Elmer G. Redd. He's born May 11th, 1928 in Tyler, Texas, and died on February the 11th, 2000 in Lufkin, Texas. Got his bachelor's degree and a master's degree from Prairie View A&M, University. He was an educator and administrator and did a lot of great things at Lufkin Dunbar High School, also at the University of Houston. He was a head coach at Lufkin Dunbar Tigers and coached them to 3 state championships in the 60s and also won state titles in 64, 66, and 67. Bill Yeoman, head coach of the University of Houston, was the first major college coach in the South to hire a Black assistant. And that assistant was none other than Coach Elmer G. Redd, making him the first Black coach at the University of Houston, making him the first Black coach at the University of Houston. And I tell you what, man, that's a name that we need to know more about. Elmer G. Red, who coached high school, 3 state championships, and became the first Black assistant coach at the University of Houston. Red coached 8 1,000-yard rushers in his 17 years as U of H's running back coach. He also helped U of H become a serious player in East Texas recruiting. He was one of the best coaches with a legacy filled with numerous athletic accomplishments. So today we want to honor and spotlight the life of Coach Elmer G. Red. Coach Elmer G. Red. All right. See, I'm still hoping David Grubb can get back in. If not, appreciate him giving up his time today. Al High, big shout out to you. Got to get you back on the show, brother. And again, want to shout out to all the ladies in sports. It is National Women in Sports Day. All the broadcasters, journalists, radio hosts, TV hosts, all of you, as well as athletes, current, past, and future. We honor you on this day. And you know me. I got a lot of respect for the ladies that do this job. So we want to make sure we keep that going as well. A little college basketball from around the state today. Incarnate Word's going to be at Lamar. That'll be at 7. Stephen F. Austin is going to take on A&M Corpus Christi. That'll also be on at 7. And the number 5 U of H take on Eastern Carolina. We'll see if head coach Kelvin Sampson can keep it going at U of H. I wonder how far UT is going to fall. I hope they don't fall far, because if you look at that game, while it was a 83 to 69, 14-point game, UT was like 3 for 14 from the free throw line. They shot 20-something% from the free throw line. You know, I mean, I ain't saying they're going to hit all of them, but you don't miss 11. Those are freebies. So that game really was a lot closer than the final score. I'm wondering how far UT is going to fall. You know, mid-season ratings and all that don't mean a whole lot. They don't mean a whole lot. They come into play at the end of the season for the rankings in the tournament, and they will play a tournament this year. The Longhorns are probably in that number 2, number 3 seed area, depending upon how far they fall. That ain't bad. That ain't bad. And I'm hoping Shaka can get, this was his first game back from COVID-19. I'm hoping he can get those problems at the line worked out and keep the Longhorns heading in the right direction. How great would it be to have U of H legitimately have a shot at a number 1 seed, and U of H and UT legitimately have a shot at a number 2 seed? I mean, when you think about it, Baylor, U of H, UT, Texas Tech ain't bad for the state. Ain't bad for the state at all. They're going to be well represented in the March Madness tournament, which will be up and coming. I'm hoping Prairie View can slide in there as well, from the SWAC if they keep going in the direction that they're going. All right, let me take another break. We'll be right back right after this segment brought to you by Global Tax. Global Tax. You need help with your taxes? These are the people you want to call. Global Tax, bringing us this segment of the lunch break.
Baby, I got your money.
Are you looking for a tax company that will get you the maximum credits and deductions, or a tax company that can get you a same-day loan up to $9,500? Well, Global One Tax Services on 6002 Antoine Drive is the tax company that is dedicated to getting you your maximum refund. Call us for an appointment or for our mobile services. That's right, Global One Tax is now mobile. Now, you don't have to leave your home. Call 281-377-5565. That's 281-377-5565. Get your full return. You deserve it. You've earned it. Global One Tax Services. Get ready, get set, go global.
Hi, I'm Linda J. I recently purchased 4 new tires from OMG Tires and More, located at 3124 Tidwell between 59 and Jensen. TK got me in and out in less than 30 minutes. While there, I got my car washed. Do you need rims for your car? OMG has them too. OMG Tires and More is your one-stop shop for all your tire needs. So give them a call at 832-767-3211. That's 832-767-3211. Conveniently located at 3124 Tidwell between 59 and Jensen on the north side.
Here's an important COVID-19 school system update for your local area. If you're concerned about your child's education, please pay close attention to this message. The current school systems were not set up for at-home learning. If you're worried that your child may not be getting the grades they need to get ahead, may be losing self-confidence, or you're worried about them getting into a good college because of their grades, help is available to you. Call Grade Potential Tutoring. They can help with in-home or online tutoring and help your child with any subject at every grade level, even for test prep. They're experts in the home tutoring and online tutoring field and confident they can help you and your child get better grades today. Call now for your free consultation. 800-580-7680. 800-580-7680. 800-580-7680. That's 800-580-7680.
The legendary KYOK 1140 AM. The legendary KYOK 92.3 FM. 2 radio stations in one.
The old way of living with diabetes is a pain. You've got to remember to do your testing, and you always need to be sticking your fingers. The new way to live your life with diabetes is with a continuous glucose monitor. You simply apply a discreet, easy-to-use sensor on your body, and it continuously monitors your glucose levels, helping you spend more time in range and freeing you from painful finger pricks. If you test your blood sugar at least 4 times per day and inject insulin at least 3 times per day, or use an insulin pump and have private insurance or Medicare, you might be eligible for a CGM with little or no cost to you. Call U.S. Medical Supply today for a free benefits check. We offer free shipping, 90-day supplies, and we bill Medicare or your insurance directly. Call now and say goodbye to finger pricks.
800-633-1378. 800-633-1378. 800-633-1378. That's 800-633-1378.
Let's be honest, wheelchairs are heavy, bulky, and ugly. If you carry a wheelchair in your car to take care of a loved one, you know how hard it is getting that clunky, old-style wheelchair in and out of your car. Introducing the Feather Chair Wheelchair. At 13 pounds, it's the world's lightest wheelchair. It folds in seconds and fits neatly in your trunk, backseat, or closet, so you can take it everywhere. And it's only available right here. Order yours today and get a free wheelchair case, a $50 value, yours free. The Feather Chair, the world's lightest wheelchair, is just $4.99 with easy payments as low as $16 a month. Sorry, no Medicare or insurance accepted. So call right now to order yours.
800-262-4690. 800-262-4690. 800-262-4690. That's 800-262-4690.
Hi, I'm Larry Scott, host of the Not So Christian and Me Show. Join me Saturdays for great fun, interviews, music, and the latest news surrounding our world today. We are the show that cares to hear your voice and opinion with real conversation in a no judgment zone. So join me Saturdays from 1 to 2 p.m. on the Not So Christian and Me Show, right here on the legendary KYOK Radio, 1140 AM, and the all-new 92.3 FM and KYOKradio.org.
Hey, what's up? This your boy James Fortune, and you are listening to The Lunch Break. Keep it locked.
All right, y'all, back here on the lunch break on the legendary KYOK and the all-new 92.3 FM. I'm AJ Jones. It is our Winning Wednesday, and I have got to give you a chance to win right now. We are about to play a game of what we call Stats Battle. That's right, Stats Battle happening right now here on the lunch break. If you've never played it, let me lay out the rules for you. I'm going to give you just the stats of two different people, just the stats, not their name, not their team, not where they're from, but just the stats. And from there, I want you to vote. So for the first category, I'll say person A and person B, and you get to vote. And then I give another category, person A versus person B, and you get to vote. And from there, after it's all said and done, we'll determine who wins. And then you'll get a chance to tell me who you think one of the people is. You only have to come up with one of them, and the winner will get 2 tickets to the State Fair Classic, Grambling versus Prairie View, February 27th in the Cotton Bowl, 3 o'clock, 2 tickets. 2 tickets. All right. Are you ready for Stats Battle? All right. We've got 2 people, and I will give you this hint. Both of them are football coaches. Both of them are football coaches on a couple of different levels. So you got Coach A and Coach B. Are you ready? Are you ready? Here we go. Coach A has only lost, wait a minute, let me go back to it. I got to go back to it because it didn't print for someone. Coach A has only lost less than 170 games in their career. Coach A has only lost 170 games in their career. Coach B has lost less than 70 games in their career. Coach A has lost less than 170 games. Coach B has lost less than 70 games. Who do you want, Coach A or Coach B? Coach A or Coach B? Coach A or Coach B? 170 games for Coach A, less than 70 games for Coach B. Keith Hennig said, give him Coach A. Keith Hennig said, give him Coach A. I'm sorry. And you can hit me up on social media. You can call me, 281-453-1000, 281-453-1000, or you can text me at 832-403-5005, 832-403-5005, and or you can email me, aj@kyoksports.com, aj@kyoksports.com. All right. DM said, give him Coach A. All right, we got 2 for Coach A. 832-432 said, give them Coach B. 903-230 said, give them Coach B. 346-762 said, give them Coach B. Let's see. Wow. Somebody sent in a group text. Said, give them, we got, wow, this is interesting. Big shout out to the folks over at Intercontinental Airport listening in the handling department. Big shout out to y'all. I'm checking y'all out. They said they got 3 for Coach B. 1, 2, 3, and 2 for Coach A. So that's 1, 2, 3. Right now it's 5-6. 5-6. Coach B over Coach A. Big shout out to y'all over in the baggage handling department over at Intercontinental Airport. I hope y'all are social distancing and staying safe. All right, let's go to category number 2. Category number 2. Coach A, hold on. I got one on my here. Okay. Coach A has a record of, let me do it like this. Coach A has won 9 bowl games. Coach A has won 9 bowl games. Coach B has won more than 10 bowl games. Coach A has won 9 bowl games. Coach B has won more than 10 bowl games. Who do you want, Coach A or Coach B? Coach A or Coach B? 9 bowl games for Coach A, more than 10 bowl games for Coach B. Who do you want? A or, okay, Keith Hennig said give him A. All right. Coach A or Coach B? 9 bowl games for Coach A, more than 10 bowl games for Coach B. 9 versus 10, more than 10. All right, here we go. Mace, I don't know how to pronounce your name. I can't pronounce. I don't want to mess it up. Mausser. Mausser says give him Coach B. OD said give him Coach B. 832-939 said give them Coach A. 832-525 said give them Coach B. Coach B starting to pull away. 281-254 said give them Coach A. It's 9-8, close one. AG said give him Coach B, 10-8. And one more, 281-831 said give them Coach B. All right, so right now it's 11-8, 11-8. Let me go to the next category. Coach A has won their conference more than 10 times. Coach A has won their conference more than 10 times. Coach B has won his conference 9 times. Coach A more than 10, Coach B 9 times. Coach A or Coach B? Coach A or Coach B? Coach A has coached his team to more than 10 conference championships. Coach B has coached his team to 9. Coach A for Keith Hennig. All right, let me go to the phones. Y'all are funny. All right, 832-432 said give them Coach A. Thought that one would change it around. 903-832 said give them Coach A. 346762 said give them Coach A. Coach A running away with it now. AJ, not me, said give them Coach A. 832-939 said give them Coach A. Man, Coach A swept this one. 281-525 said give them Coach B. Let me do one more. 281-254 said give them Coach A. It's 15-12 right now. Coach A over Coach B. All right, here we go. This is category number 4. Category number 4. This coach has won. Wow, I want to see how I want to do this. This coach has won. Oh, I don't want to do it like that because that'll give it away. If I do it like that, that one's going to give it away. Let me do something else. Let me do something else. I'm gonna go against my own categories because I think this one will give it away. I think this one will give it away. Let's do this one. This coach right here has been the coach of the year in their career. This one has been the coach of the year in their career more than 5 times. Coach A has been coach of the year more than 5 times. Coach B has been coach of the year more than 5 times. Both of them have been coach of the year more than 5 times. Who do you want, Coach A or Coach B? Coach A or Coach B? Category number 4, Coach A or Coach B? Keith Hennig said give him Coach A. And we're playing stats battles right here. You get to pick based on what I'm giving you, which coach you want. 281-254 said give them Coach B. RC said give him Coach B. Wow, 16-14. DR said give him Coach B. DR says he thinks he knows who Coach B is. All right, stick with it, DR. You'll get a chance to win in a second. 281-732 said give them Coach B. All right, it's 16-16. 346-321 said give them Coach A, 17-16. 346-457 said give them Coach B, 17 all. 832-818 said give them Coach B. Where's my mailroom folks? If they come back in, let me see where my mailroom folks are. Mailroom folks are. Trying to find them. Okay, there they are. AJ, thanks for the shout out. Give us 2 for Coach B, 1, 2, and 3 for Coach A, 1, 2, 3. And you put us at an exact tie. Thank you, mailroom. Are y'all mailroom? That ain't mailroom. I'm sorry. I'm so used to shouting out to the mailroom over there These are the baggage handlers over there at Intercontinental Airport. And y'all didn't tell me what airlines. I know y'all. I'm trying to see if y'all do just a specific airline. I got to shout out to y'all more often. Thanks for listening. All right, here's the last category. Coach A has won more than 5 national championships. Coach A has won more than 5 national championships. Coach B has won more than 5 national championships. Coach A or Coach B? Coach A or Coach B? Coach A or Coach B? Final category. Coach A, more than 5 national championships. Coach B, more than 5 national championships. Keith Hennig said give him Coach A. $832-939 said give them Coach B. They too say they think they know who Coach B is. 832-432 said give them Coach B. 939-832 said give them Coach A. Y'all, it's exactly tied, y'all. 346-762 said give them Coach B. BF said give him Coach B. 281-254 said give them Coach A. Oh man. Let me see. Let me go back to the folks over at Intercontinental. Let me see what they come up with. AJ, you're killing us. It's 5 people in the room. They've got 3 for B, 1, 2, 3, and 2 for A, 1, 2. All right. It's exactly tied. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to do the scroll. So here we go. I'm going to scroll it, and let me see where it comes out. Let me go to the top of the messages, and here we go. Zip. And I came up on 281-525. They said give them Coach A, Coach A. And the final score is 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 28 to 27. Coach A over Coach B. Coach A over Coach B. Now, 281-453-1000. 281-453-1000. If you think you can tell me who one of the coaches was, and you'll get 2 tickets to the State Fair Classic, Grambling versus Prairie View, February 27th in the Cotton Bowl up in Dallas. You got to be able to go. Got to be able to wear your mask and have a good time on us. All right. 281-453-1000. First caller who can tell me which one of the coaches they can name, you win. All right, let me take a break. We'll be right back. This segment brought to you by Lily and the Tax Doctor right here on the lunch break on the legendary KYOK.
1140 AM and 92.3 FM. The legendary KYOK.
Hi, my name is Lily. My mom and dad used to fight about money all the time. Then one day, I heard them talking about this guy, some uncle I never knew, called Uncle Sam. Well, they say this Uncle Sam guy wanted them to pay him like $1 gazillion, and they didn't have $1 gazillion. So they called this company they heard on the radio called the Tax Doctor. And the Tax Doctor worked with Uncle Sam's people. I think they're called the IRS. And they were able to work it out so my mom and dad didn't have to pay Uncle Sam very much money at all. So now mom and dad are happy, and I'm happy too. Thanks, Tax Doctor.
If you owe $10,000 or more to the IRS or state, call now and pay less. 800-603-9359. 800-603-9359. That's 800-603-9359.
Beautiful people, this is Major. This is why I love you. On the lunch break.
All right, y'all, we're back here on the lunch break on the legendary KYOK and the all-new 92.3 FM. Before I go to the phone line, let me remind you that African Imports is getting you ready for Black History Month. They've got all kinds of specials going on for the month of February. Masks as low as $4.99, scarves and hats for $9.99. Dashikis as low as $14.99 and up for kids, and $29.99 for adults. And ladies, you can get those beautiful African dresses for $39.99 and up for your upcoming Black History Month program at your school, virtual church event, or even your sorority or organization. Stop by African Imports in the Greenspoint Mall. Tell them you heard it with AJ and KYOK. You'll get 10% off your purchase at African Imports in Greenspoint Mall near the food court. Call them 281-875-0056, 281-875-0056. Tell them AJ sent you. All right, let me go to the phone line real quick. We just finished playing Stats Battle, and this one was a close one. Came down to one vote, and I got a shout out again to the baggage handlers over at Intercontinental Airport, tuning in. 5 of them were listening. Appreciate y'all. Hello, you're live on the lunch break. Who's this?
Hey, it's Keith Hennig.
Keith Hennig, what's going on, man?
Well, I'm already going to the game, but just for grins, I'm going to say Eddie Robinson.
Was one of the coaches?
Yes, sir.
Is that your final answer? You have no doubt on that, Keith Hennig?
I cannot phone a friend because you're the only friend that knows. So I'm going with Eddie Robinson, yes.
Don't want to use a lifeline. Don't want to phone a friend. You're locking it in. Final answer.
That's my final answer.
All right. Now, there were a number of great coaches back in the day whose records are, for whatever reason, undervalued and underreported. But Coach A was definitely Eddie Robinson.
Oh, Yes.
Coach A was definitely Eddie Robinson, and had a record of 408 wins, 165 losses, 15 ties. He was 9-6 in bowl games, won 9 Black College National Championships, and won the SWAC 17 times. 17 times. Eddie Robinson was definitely the winner for today.
Greatest college coach that ever walked the sidelines.
I still call him the winningest coach in college football, and I will do that until I can no longer call it myself. But I agree with you on that sentiment too. Greatest coach to ever walk the sideline. Any idea who Coach B was?
I want to say it's Kirk Ferentz, but I'm not sure.
That's a good guess. It's a good guess. I will tell you who Coach B was. Coach B had a record of 256 wins, only 65 losses, has a bowl record of 17-10, has won 7 national championships, and has won, this is going to give it away, and has won the SEC 9 times. It is none other than Nick Saban.
Oh, he deserves a B. No, Eddie Robinson's one of my favorites. Saban can just coach all he wants to. I don't care.
Well, what's interesting is when you put their numbers side by side, the fact that everybody just hands down gives Nick Saban the greatest coach, greatest coaching moniker. It's just not there. 7 national championships versus 9, 17 SWAC championships versus 9. 256 wins versus 408. Eddie Robinson, man, hands and shoulders above everybody else.
Well, today was my day to win on the KYOK lunch break. Thank you for that.
Brother, you are always a winner in my eyes, Keith Hennick. I'm telling you, I appreciate you, man. Caller of the year 2020. Love you, brother. I mean it.
Same here. Thank you, AJ.
All right, thanks for playing Stats Battle. I'm telling you, that's how you do it right there. Keith just showed you how to do it. You vote in each 5 categories. We total up the number of votes at the end. And again, whoever comes out on top, all you got to do is pick one of them. Who do you think one of them was? You don't have to pick them both. I just asked him for grins who he thought number 2 was, and a good guess. Kirk Ferentz has had a great run up there at where is he at Iowa? Great run, and again, I try to do the categories in a way where it just doesn't give it away. It gives you some hints, but it doesn't make it easy. We want to make you winners, but hey, you got to work at it. So we'll do it again next Wednesday. And you'll get another chance to win some tickets to the Grambling State Prairie View State Fair Classic coming up on February 27th up in Dallas in the Cotton Bowl. All you got to do is keep listening right here to the lunch break on the legendary KYOK. Great job. All right, let me do this. Real quick. Let me see if we got any breaking news out there. Man, I really wanted to talk about coaching hires with David Grubb. I wanted to talk coaching hires with David Grubb as well. Unfortunately, he had some issues with the internet. But I do want to go to a young man. I haven't had him on the show yet, but I do want him on. His name is Chris Williamson, and he's an Emmy-nominated anchor for SNY Sports TV, a reporter, a host, an alumnus from Newhouse, former Syracuse safety, and WBA award-winning sportscaster, also one of my brothers in the National Association of Black Journalists. And Chris Williamson did a very good commentary on the state of the hiring of black coaches in the NFL. And I want you to hear this, because a lot of people say, "Oh, AJ, you're just a rebel, you're just a militant, and all of that." I can't tell you how much flack I got from my T-shirt yesterday just from calling Nat Turner a freedom fighter. Show me the lie, and I'll apologize, but I don't see it. But anyway, here's Chris Williamson on his commentary about the hiring of black coaches and general managers in the NFL.
While we celebrate the diversity of coaches in the Super Bowl, there's still much work to be done. One has to conclude that the predominantly white NFL owners could care less about hiring black head coaches. Out of 7 available spots this year, only 1 team hired a black coach, and only 1 hired another minority, the Jets with Arab American Robert Saleh. And it's not as if black coaches can't coach. And if winning is a real goal, team owners would be wise to hire them. You see, there have only been 19 black head coaches in the NFL's modern history, yet they've compiled a winning record collectively. In 2021, with the updated Rooney Rule and more, it's outrageous that there are only 3 black head coaches out of 32 teams. This in a league where the labor is nearly 70% black. But due to systemic racism and billionaire owners preferring those who they're more comfortable with, the Eric Bieniemys of the world get passed over for less qualified white coaches. For the past 3 years, Kansas City's OC has only helped them become a top 5 offense, win 2 AFC title games, and oh yeah, a Super Bowl title. Yet the excuses for why he can't get a job are predictable and lazy. They say, he doesn't call the plays. Yeah, that didn't stop Nick Sirianni from getting the Eagles job. Bieniemy's past is concerning. The Jaguars hired Urban Meyer even after it was confirmed that he ignored the fact that one of his then Ohio State assistant coaches had been beating his wife for years. And then there's the excuse that he doesn't interview well. They said the same thing about Tony Dungy. And it seems so easy to create reasons why not to hire a black coach, even if they expose contradictions. And Bieniemy's not the only qualified black candidate who deserves a job. Just look at former Jets head coach Todd Bowles and the job he's done in Tampa as DC. Bieniemy's simply the face of black coaches being overlooked right now. And let me be clear, I have no idea if he'll be a great coach, but he and others have earned the right to succeed or fail as head coach. The 2021 coaching cycle makes it painfully evident that we haven't won in changing the hearts of owners to do the right thing, because their message is simple. We rather risk failing with a white coach than succeeding with a black one.
Chris Williamson, award-winning broadcast journalist, SNY. And I have got to get him on the show because that's just a phenomenal dialogue. Phenomenal dialogue. It's unfortunate. It is unfortunate that that's the state of, hiring in this multi-billion-dollar organization, multi-billion-dollar industry. It's not just them. Basketball could do better. Baseball, oh my gosh. I won't go on a rant. Chris said it best. All I'll say is I agree. I agree. I'm no longer gonna blame the system, if you will. It's the decisions are being made because those are the decisions that they want to make, and they don't want to be told what to do. In my mind, the Rooney Rule is officially dead. Probably been dead for a long time, but it's officially dead because no one wants to be told what to do when they're a billionaire owner of a sports franchise. Does that make it right? No. Don't try to talk to me about meritocracy because it's not there either. Don't earn the right to do what many of these coaches have been given. Yeah, there are great coaches out there who work their way up the ranks. But for every great coach out there that's worked their way up the ranks, there's a great black coach out there that has worked their way up the ranks only to find out they don't end in the same places. So thanks, Chris. Appreciate your work, man. And again, on this National Women's Day in Sports, we celebrate all of the women out there doing this phenomenal job. All right. Let me take a quick break, get Sybil Wilkes on with her COVID-19 update, and we'll do that right here on the lunch break on the legendary KYOK. And might as well go ahead and wrap it up now. No sense in having her do that and then coming back. Tomorrow, Throwback Thursday. We'll be here with Chris Gardner. I hope to have Keisha Kelly on with me. I'll confirm that. And then again, I will pull out my my big spreadsheet, if you will, of all the historic Black college and university head coaching greats in the world of football, and give some love to the current coaches and where they rank according to the lunch break. Nobody's ever ranked all those coaches. I'm going to rank them all, regardless of conference, regardless of division, regardless of association. Some are in the NCAA, some are in the CIAA, some are in the SAIC. It's okay. We're going to have them all right here on the lunch break tomorrow. So as always, let's not be divided. Let's be united. I love you. There's nothing you can do about it except wear your mask, wash your hands 30 seconds or more, sanitize everything around you, and be sensitive to everyone around you. When you see people, give them 6 feet, whether you believe in COVID or not. And whatever you do, when you see that racism, do me a favor, kill it. Not the person, but the racism. You don't have to have it. It's not necessary. Racism does us no good. We can be a whole lot better without it. So, as always, y'all take care. Here's Sybil Wilkes' COVID-19 update.
Today, Senate Republicans remain in their powerful chairman positions held before January elections change things. The most recent example of Republican foot dragging is the confirmation hearing of Judge Merrick Garland for Attorney General. This points to an even bigger problem. It's time to get past this protracted era of mean, hateful politics and get to work on organizing this 50-50 Senate. Put the good of this country first. Voting rights activist and Democratic leader Stacey Abrams has been nominated for the 2020 Nobel Peace Prize for her work to preserve voting rights in the United States. The Spelman College grad and attorney, whose work is credited for boosting voter turnout, helped candidate Joe Biden win the state of Georgia in the 2020 presidential election. Other nominees for the prestigious award include the Black Lives Matter movement and U.S. Congresswoman Barbara Lee of California. Please visit SybilWilkes.com to subscribe to my free daily newsletter. Be informed, be...
All right, y'all. Hope y'all enjoyed the show. I want to thank David Grubb for dropping in today. Sorry that he had some technical difficulties after the show, but man, always appreciate him being on. Y'all be sure and tune into his podcast, Hard in the Paint. Whatever you do, check out the Dome Patrol. That's one of my all-time favorites. So download that and be sure and check it out. Send him some love. Let him know how much you appreciate him. Again, I appreciate y'all more than you can even imagine. Not this, definitely this. Happy rest of your Black History Month.